Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Take us through the gist of your op-ed. What exactly is the issue that NVIDIA will have vis-a-vis the geopolitical tensions between the U.S. and China?
Good morning, Dom. Thanks for having me. The gist here is, for a long time now, 2015 or so, China has identified as a strategic vulnerability their dependence on Western technology, particularly semiconductor chips. And Dom, they've spent over $100 billion in that time trying to do what many think is impossible, but they will certainly try and do, and that is become self-sufficient. Indigenization is what they call it. And there's been a lot of misallocation of that money, but as you just reported, Dom, we're starting to see incremental progress. And what I argue here is China always had a plan to displace foreign chip manufacturers in their home market because they see it not as a commercial issue, but as a national strategic vulnerability.
This has been an issue for years now, and even more recently, over the last 5 or 6, 7 years, this idea that even with Huawei, which is one of the biggest tech companies in China, they have been trying to develop their own high-tech, high-end, even AI-type chips that have also been met on our side in the U.S. with some cold, I guess, coldness, right? And we warned at one point, this country, even our allies, against using Huawei-type chips because of those security concerns. So how out of the realm of reason is this kind of a response from China?
It's to be expected, Dom. Listen, we've been hammering them, as you point out, for quite some time for backdoors in their technology. None of us will forget what we saw the Israelis do in Lebanon. So all of these things are not out of the realm of the possibility. NVIDIA says it's not there. You have to take them at their word. But for the Chinese side, this expectation is not far-fetched, given what we have harangued them for several years and some of what we've seen happen in Israel. There is a possibility in the Chinese mind.
Now, DeWardrick, let's take all of this conversation and juxtapose it on Eunice Yoon's report earlier this hour about the high-stakes meetings happening between Russian President Vladimir Putin, Chinese President Xi Jinping. We know that Narendra Modi from India was also kind of in this ecosystem as well over the course of the past few days. What exactly does this mean for U.S. hegemony, not just in the West now, but now the Chinese or Russian counterpart to that in the East?
Long term is hard to say, Don, but what I will say about the SCO meeting, which Eunice wrote about, you have statecraft and stagecraft, and China did both very, very well at the SCO. Now, again, I don't believe that all of the differences between India and China can be papered over with a few laughs and a few handshakes and hand holdings, but it certainly signals that China believes that there's an opening to many countries, particularly India, given how we have just beat India up with 50% tariffs. And so we will have to see just how far this goes, Dom. But Xi Jinping did not miss an opportunity to signal to the world that there's a juxtaposition between how we treat countries and how the U.S. treats countries. But we will see over the long term. Certainly great stagecraft, though, Dom.